Morning, Brahim.
مس عنا انجلش شي هلا من بعده ما فتح حاجه.
Oh, you're the first.
هلا حظ.
That's good. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, just one more minute so that we can admit everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Us.
Okay, today we're going to continue our lesson about natural disasters and natural environmental issues. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for one more minute until some others join, and then I'll share the screen. Do you have questions for me?
No.
No, miss.
Okay, you guys know that we're going back to school, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, soon.
Yes, we know.
It's 5 May.
Yeah, 5 May.
Miss, but how can we go on here? Like, دولة بعد ما قررت إذا رايحين أو لا.
It is the government that decided. We cannot decide on our own. We have to abide by the government's.
Yes.
The government decided that we should face-to-face teaching before the finals.
Just like the last semester?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss, will we get the second half of our vacation this week?
Yes, you will. I'm not sure, but they sent to some groups. The vacation will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yes.
It's going to be a pretty good vacation because you guys have finished with all your exams. So
Miss, are we going to do the finals with all the lessons that we have covered from the semester 1?
Okay, good question. Good question, Fatima. What I'm going to be concentrating on is the themes that we took in semesters 2 and 3. But of course, the skills are cumulative, just like in math. I mean, I cannot not include, for example, title or thesis statement. Those are cumulative skills. So of course, those will be from semester 1, but I think you already know those without even having to study them again. Because
Yeah.
we're
Yes,
doing
the
them,
version.
yes, over and over again. Okay, but generally with regards to themes, I'm going to be concentrating on the last themes that we took in order to be fair to the students.
When we are coming back to school? Wednesday?
It's on the 5th of May. Hopefully everything works out fine and we go back on the 5th of May. We're not going to give any new lessons, okay, except if we're finishing a certain skill, something final, but no new major lessons.
When are the finals? When do we
Finals,
start?
they will send you something. They will be in June. The school will send you something very shortly.
Miss,
Like,
do we finish school at the
June
end of
or
June?
after June?
Yes, you finish school at the end. Towards the end of June, you guys will be finished.
So not after June?
No.
Okay.
But I'm afraid, the people who are in 9th and 12th grade are a little stuck this year. They're going to have to
Yes.
study more than that. Okay, so I think we can safely begin now. Most of you have joined. Okay, of course, I'm gonna send you the link. I sent a link. Okay, what do you think is the most threatening environmental issue facing humanity today? Okay, it is somehow an opinion question, but there is really, according to scientists, there is really one correct answer to this. Most threatening because it's far-reaching in every aspect of our life. It could mean the demise of humanity, the death of humanity. Okay. I need like 8 more answers.
Amos, I put the wrong one.
You chose wildfires?
No, global warming.
Why is that wrong?
It's air pollution.
Really? Well, we'll discuss that. Come on, tell me what you think and we'll discuss it. This environmental issue is far-reaching and it could affect other environmental issues. Okay. 1 more minute for the voting. Come on, guys. Just a click of a button.
مس احنا ليه مأخرين لآخر جون ما زلنا احنا خالصين المنهاج
Because, you know, with 10th and 11th grade, I'm not really sure. Let's see how they decide on the exams. It's the exams mostly. But remember that during this coming period, you have a lot of official holidays. So it's not going to be tough. Okay, so the single most threatening environmental issue facing humanity today is definitely global warming. I'm sure those are very important: wildfires, air pollution, and water pollution. But why do you think scientists believe it's global warming that's most threatening?
Because it is leading to a lot of disasters.
Okay.
It affects others.
Like what?
Like,
because they are caused by global warming.
Okay, Fatima, what did you say?
It's leading to a lot of wildfires and floods.
Okay, first of all, global warming, first effect, it's leading to floods because the ice is melting. What's happening, other than the fact that ice is melting, it causes floods, that sea levels rise, etc. What else? When the ice sheets melt in Siberia and in Greenland, in the Arctic, why is that also bad?
It's destroying animals' habitats.
Thank you. Thank you. Destroying animal habitats, like whom? Like what? Which animals?
Like the animals that can live only on ice.
Polar bears. You see the pictures.
It's polar bears and penguins.
penguins.
Yes, definitely. You see the you know, very, very sad pictures of polar bears just invading homes now, totally emaciated and thin, looking for food because they're losing their habitat little by little. And penguins, of course, if things remain the way they are, we're going to lose penguins too. Okay, so floods, which could destroy whole cities and towns. We talked about the west coast of the US, which is disappearing underwater. Okay, we're losing habitat, we're gonna lose many species. Okay, what else? Global warming, someone told me, leads to what also? Other than floods, it leads to?
Wildfires.
Wildfires. Why is that also bad, Celia?
It leads to everything.
Okay, like what?
It eats up vast amounts of forests and it destroys the animals' habitats, and it leads to the extinction of a lot of species, especially animals.
It burns forests, meaning extinction of many animals. We saw what happened to the koalas, the kangaroos, and billions of species, not billions, okay? All of those were affected by wildfires only in Australia. So the number is not
climate change.
Yes, we can say that it leads to the destruction of the earth. Yes.
It could lead to the demise of the earth. Now, people, I'm not sure if you heard about.
It is leading.
It is. You know Greta Thunberg? I think you guys should follow.
No.
She has an Instagram account. She is a 17-year-old Swedish teenager who is an advocate for climate change. I think she has more wisdom than most of our political leaders. She tells us if we stay like that, we're done. We're all done. Okay. And the sad thing is that our generations have given you guys a horrible environment. And you guys have to live with this and to deal with it. Okay. So this is global.
We have to find solutions.
You have to find solutions, which is my second question. Thank you, Ahmed. My second question is, I'll display it shortly. This, you have to write it as a sentence now. Give one practical solution to this issue in a sentence. Practical, remember, it has to be practical. Yes, decarbonization of the environment, that's good. We're going to talk about how that can be done. Prevent cutting trees, prevent deforestation. Also, we're going to talk about how that will be done. I don't know, very honest answer, I accept it. We'll help you know. Stop deforestation. Also, okay, good answer, but now we'll talk about how that can be done. Avoiding nuclear wars. We already are avoiding them. We already are, but it's good to have that idea.
You don't know what may happen after like 20 years.
Yeah, well, if people are, you know, stupid enough to start a nuclear war, I'm not sure.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Okay. Any other answers? Increase wind, thank you. Increase wind and solar power, green, renewable energy. Yes, very good, very good. Invest in efficient appliances, thank you. Okay, let's talk about them one by one. How can we decarbonize the environment? Very good answer. How can we do that? Decarbonization, okay.
Using fossil fuels.
Using less fossil fuels. How can we do that? Okay, it's good to say it, but how? How will we make people
stop using cars?
Gas and fuels for
how can we convince people? I can't tell anybody in Lebanon, each household in Lebanon has like 2, 3, 4 cars. How can I convince them? Okay, how can I make them not use their cars as often as they do? How do we make them?
Campaigns, awareness campaigns.
Campaigns is a good one. What else? Maybe
we increase public transportation.
Okay, public transportation, good. What else can we do? Maybe those people don't like to go on public transportation.
Threaten them.
Threaten how? We don't want to threaten people, but how can we make them? Okay.
Yes, we can give them like another solutions like electric cars.
Electric cars, okay, great. That's a good answer. And we can, as a government.
Converters. There are some converters for the cars.
Okay, using hybrid cars, that's a very good idea.
Yes, but energy cars doesn't do anything. They have lithium batteries, just as dangerous.
So that's horrible. That's another horrible answer. Yes, yes, I understand that. And where do we go with the batteries? It's even worse than fossil fuels, as Ahmed is saying, yes. So I want to decarbonize. As a government, I would do what? I want people to use less fuel. As a government, what would you do?
Cut out the fuel in the country.
Increase the price of fuel.
Thank you, Ahmed. Increase the price of fuel, taxes. But when I increase, I can't do that and make a revolution in my country, of course, but I can make good public transportation. So increase taxes on fuel, but make good public transportation. That's how I decarbonize. Okay, good answer here. Now, prevent from cutting trees. Good. Whoever answered that, great. But how? Also, how? I can't just tell people don't cut trees. What should I do if I were a government?
Give them reasons.
Also, we can put taxes.
Yes, let people pay money if they cut a tree.
Yes. What do we call that when you have to pay money for breaking the law? What do we call that? It's not a tax, it's a
penalty.
A penalty is the synonym, yes.
Fine.
Fine, good. It's a fine. We pay a fine for breaking the law. When you cut a tree in this area, you're going to pay for it, okay? And this is what is done in most civilized countries. Okay, the person who said, I don't know, I hope you know better now. Okay, stop deforestation also by making laws and including fines. Okay, everything needs a law. If you are to convince humans, campaigns are very good, etc., but you need to put laws and you need to make people pay fines or else they will continue breaking the rules. Avoid nuclear wars. Okay, great, but not sure how that will help. Okay, so who answered? How can
if you avoid the nuclear wars, it won't help the global warming?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
How is that possible?
But we can't control the nuclear wars.
We can.
We should avoid them because.
Yes, we should avoid them anyway, because I think the moment it starts is the moment where we're all gone. So I mean, just a single nuclear weapon can destroy the Earth 200 times. Okay, so I hope we avoid.
Every science fiction show, like a nuclear war happens that leads into the like destruction of the Earth. Exactly.
I hope that never happens. And the person who answered this, increase wind and solar power. Thank you. It's an excellent answer.
Welcome.
Is that helpful? Okay, how can we do that? How can we do that? First of all, if you are in Lebanon, you want to
plants, let's grow plants.
Grow, you mean power plants, solar farms?
Yes.
Have you seen solar farms? Solar panel farms in places like the desert in Texas, in Abu Dhabi?
Yes, Miss, dedicate big lands to solar farms and wind turbines.
Exactly, wind turbines. Now, where can we use solar panels and where can we use wind turbines? Can we use solar power plants in Europe? Is that practical?
Not really.
Not really. What can we use mostly in Europe, in countries like the Netherlands and in Great Britain?
Wind turbines.
Wind turbines.
Wind turbines. They have a lot of wind and solar panels at places like the Gulf region, in here in the Arab world, in parts of the US, okay, Africa, definitely. Now, if I were a person who wants to save energy, okay, and I want to install a solar panel, okay, maybe, what do you think it costs? How do you think the cost is?
Depends how much you want.
But it generally costs a lot. How can the government encourage people to have more solar power panels in their homes? As a government, what can I do?
Make it more affordable.
Increase its price, make it
thank you.
less.
Make them affordable by the word that we've been using so much nowadays in Lebanon,
Subsidizing.
Thank you, Fab. Subsidizing. Subsidizing means the government pays for part of it. Okay, maybe the government pays for 30–40% of the solar panel, then it can become affordable to you. Okay, just like now the government subsidizes the bread. If the government doesn't subsidize the bread, it's 20,000. You know that? Because the government pays for it, we are able to buy.
مثل دعم huh?
Dam, exactly.
Yeah.
Subsidizing means dam, exactly. And for the government to encourage people to invest in such expensive but very good, types of energy, we have to subsidize. The government has to subsidize.
Miss, but solar power panels sometimes don't work in winter
Exactly.
because of the weather.
I know, but at least many of them, the modern ones, can store energy for days when you do not have.
I was just going to say that.
Yes, for days that when you don't
Yes.
have sun power. The modern ones are very good. Okay, so this is basically my introduction to this lesson, and we're going to take a look at what one solution people are trying to do. Okay, countries, global warming is affecting countries everywhere in the world. So people need to sit with each other, need to find a solution. They make what we call summits. What's a summit? A climate summit. Okay, when leaders of nations sit together, it's called a summit. Okay, it's a conference for leaders.
Yes, a meeting
yes.
with governments.
A meeting for the top leaders, because the word summit means top. Okay, in order to find what? Okay, they want to find solutions. Yes, exactly. In this case, for global warming. Let's start reading. Who would like to read? Let's see who I have first of all. Sharif, would you please start reading with the blurb?
Okay. Read the following selection in which the writer reports the challenges expected in the climate summit of 2015 in Paris. When you are through with the reading, answer the questions that follow.
Mm-hmm.
Africa sounds the alarm over crucial climate summit. The world's least developed countries have accused richer nations of failing to provide financial support for a strong new global climate treaty. With little negotiating time left ahead of the UN climate summit in Paris later this year, diplomats from nearly 200 countries meeting in Bonn, Germany, have reportedly made little progress, raising the possibility of a last-minute diplomatic fiasco, as happened in Copenhagen in 2009.
Okay. You know what happens every time the governments, the leaders meet over global warming? What do you think happens every single time?
They don't find any solution.
Yes, they never agree. And you know who mostly doesn't agree in this? Do you think it's the developing nations?
No.
No.
Okay.
Underdeveloping nations.
It's not the underdeveloping nations. Those are
like the main countries, like the US, like Russia and China.
Okay, good, Ahmad. Why do you think so? Why are they not the ones who want the solutions?
Because some of the things they have to prevent can lower their profit.
Yes. If you want to prevent
everything is
economic reasons. If you prevent fossil fuels, the US will be affected, Russia, China. Okay, they don't want that. They want
them.
Yes.
Fossil fuels are beneficial to them, so if you stop them, then it's going to affect their profit.
Yes, and they really care about the businessmen. Okay, they want them to continue making more money while the world is drowning in what it is. Okay. Paragraph 2, Fatima.
The mistrust between countries that build up in Copenhagen now threatens the Paris talks, said Tosip Pano of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who is the chairperson of the 48-strong least developed countries group. The UN process is flawed by a complete lack of trust and confidence between rich and poor countries, he said. We need time because of this lack of trust. We have no other way of proceeding. We have to go ahead and baby steps. We are not making much progress, but we are going in the right direction. There are so many issues. It's a process that exhausts the strength of the negotiations.
Okay, so one word that's affecting those negotiations, mostly, what's affecting those negotiations? The negotiations are talks between countries.
The lack of trust between the countries?
Yes, the lack of trust between each other, okay? Someone wants a solution, another doesn't. Okay, paragraph 3, Kamil.
Yes, miss.
Paragraph 3.
Every year there is a watering down of the commitments. It feels every year that we are losing out. 20 countries contribute 80% of emission, the rest 20%. Yet we in Africa are being asked to cut emissions. Okay, we say, but help us, give us finance and technology.
Okay, so every year they make commitments in the climate summit. And what happens to those commitments? By the way, this is a figure of speech. Those commitments are watered down. What does that mean? It's a metaphor. What does it mean, Kamil?
Taken down.
I can't hear you.
They didn't agree on it.
They didn't. What does it mean that you have a commitment and you water it down? It means you dilute it. You know, you make it like 1/10.
Like it's not the solution anymore.
Yeah, it's like 1/10 of what you promised. And so who are the bigger contributors of emissions of fossil fuels? Which countries?
The US, for example.
Like we said before, like the economic countries.
Yes, the big...
The countries that have the biggest economy.
Yes.
Like China and the US.
Exactly. And the rest only produce 20%. Yet we are asking Africa to cut emissions. What are the governments of Africa saying here? Okay, you're asking us to cut emissions. Give us what?
Finance and technology.
Yes, give us technology, give us money in order to build maybe solar power plants and wind turbines. Okay, paragraph 4. Michael, would you please read paragraph 4? Is Michael still there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Concern is growing that rich countries, which have together pledged to mobilize $100 billion a year to help countries adapt to climate change, are so far unwilling to discuss how the money will be raised, said Martin Ho, director of the South Center, one of the leading intergovernmental researchers of developing countries. The developing countries are disappointed that there seems to be a little hope that the $100 billion will materialize. They have no idea what will be available, so they cannot plan ahead. If countries really want a strong deal, they will be taken out about finance by now, added for.
Okay, so what have the rich countries pledged? To pledge means to promise. What have they pledged for the poorer countries? What amount?
To mobilize $100 billion.
Okay, and according to the author in paragraph 4, is that going to happen?
No.
No.
Yes, because he said there's little hope that this is going to materialize, to become a reality. Okay, let's see. Celia, would you please read the next paragraph? 5.
I think nothing will happen until it's too late.
I think it is already too late. No, that's the issue. That's the issue.
Yes, miss.
Because if anything happens, it's like the main country's fault.
Well, I hope something starts to happen soon because I think it's already late. Okay, Celia, paragraph 5.
Amjad Abdullah of the Maldives, chief negotiator for the 39-member Alliance of Small Island States, countries high vulnerable to sea level rises and extreme weather events, said, "We have an enormous task. We need to speed up the work. The ambition for a good deal has not gone. Our target is still to negotiate to hold temperature to a 1.5 degrees Celsius rise. But achieving it is going to be difficult and may require dramatic efforts by humanity."
Okay, you see how much global temperature is rising by 1.5 degrees, and we want to hold it at that. We cannot stop it at this point. We want to hold it at the increase of 1.5 degrees. Okay, paragraph 6. Let's see who we have here. Ahmed Shahimi.
Yes, miss.
Paragraph 6, please.
Jan Kowalczyk, climate change policy officer with Oxfam, said the French government, which will chair the Paris meeting, is becoming extremely nervous. It has to show success. Everyone recognizes the talks are going too slowly, but the US completely refuses to put anything on the table about finance. The developed countries are not ready to talk about it. Informally, they recognize they need to make concessions, but the big danger is that the 100 billion becomes a clever... I can't see. Okay. Accountancy plan. The developing countries would see through that. A few powerful countries would be happy with a weak deal. The US, China, Japan, and India are not very interested in a strong deal because they would be bound by it.
Okay, so they don't want to be bound to a certain deal. And who's the country, according to the paragraph, who doesn't want to, cooperate at all?
US, China, Japan, and India.
Yes, but the single most country, they said?
US.
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 Well, we're hoping now with the new administration, things will change because the new person in charge is more, environmentally friendly, hopefully.
I think we should only put our hope on Elon Musk.
Yes. How strong is he? When the businessman, when the billionaire,
That is incredible,
he cannot do anything if the economic stronghold doesn't accept. Okay, paragraph 7. Ali.
Yes, miss.
Paragraph 7, please.
With only around 10 days worth of negotiations remaining after the bond talks close next week, no discussion has started on 3 vital issues. Whether rich countries should compensate poor ones for the loss and damage done by extreme weather events worsened by climate change, how deep the overall emission cuts should be, and how countries should fairly share the burden of cuts.
Okay, so there's still no agreement between those countries on those 3 main issues. Okay. Hamad Bou. Adam, would you please read?
Paragraph 8.
Paragraph 8, please.
So far, 36 countries, including the world's biggest emitters, China and the US, have pledged to limit emissions of greenhouse gases. But given the scale of current commitments, the world is on a path to 3 to 4 Celsius temperature rise. Yeah. However, more than 150 smaller countries have yet to submit their carbon pledges.
Okay. Paragraph 9, Kofi Annan, who was the secretary in 2015 of the UN, from 1997 to 2006, urged all countries to seize the climate moment, meaning, you know, seize the moment, you do something about it now, okay? If you don't, that's it. He added, climate change is the greatest challenge facing humanity today. By the way, this is one of his most famous quotes. Climate change is the greatest challenge facing humanity today. The effects are being felt all over the planet, but not equally. In Africa, millions already feel the consequences of global warming, yet millions more have never reaped the benefits that citizens in countries with high carbon economies have long taken for granted. Okay, so the US is using fossil fuels, but its citizens are benefiting financially. Africa's citizens are not benefiting at all. All they're getting is the consequences of what the rich countries are doing, and they remain poor. However, they have to reap what the richer countries are doing. Okay. Paragraph 10, Ahmed Aoudi.
Yes. Climate justice demands that the world seizes the climate moment. The window of opportunity for avoiding a climate catastrophe is open, but is closing and closing fast. Annan said at the launch of the fastest Africa Progress Panel report.
Okay, thank you. Yaoub, paragraph 11.
The Paris Climate Conference is the biggest opportunity in a generation to create momentum for a safer and more prosperous world. It can be used to build trust in developing countries by supporting a roadmap to 100 billion of climate finance and support goals for a global goal to reduce overall carbon emissions to zero by 2050, said the heads of Christian Aid, Worldwide Fund, and others.
Okay. Yaoub, what do you think this $100 billion is going to be used for? They say we're pledging $100 billion for climate change. How? What will this be used for? How will it avoid climate change?
They will invest them in...
What will they build?
I don't know.
What will they do?
Solar.
Solar energy, green
wind turbines.
Wind turbines, public transportation that is electric and not depending on fossil fuels. Maybe they can reforest, build more forests. Okay, build more eco-friendly homes. Okay, it's going to take a lot of billions of dollars in order to do that. Okay, but we're still, it is 2021 now. This article was written in 2015. It is 2021, but we're still in the same place now. Not much has been done. Okay.
But we know that Mars is survivable now.
Okay, we know that. We know that. So maybe we're looking for another planet.
And the first SpaceX ship is going at 2024 for us.
So instead of saving our planet, we look for another one.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is totally human. This is totally how humans would think. Well, hopefully we can save our Mother Nature. Okay. Anyway, any questions for me before we leave?
No.
Tomorrow.
No, Miss. Thanks.
You all for being such a good group. Tomorrow we will start answering the questions. Okay, and we will see if we start something new. Okay, depending on the time.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Miss.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.